My name's Jeff Johnson. I own the Pilfered Pines Neon Landscape Gallery here in Reno, Nevada. My passion is to create neon art and other projects that have never been done before. The language is Amharic. Haile Selassie, the king of Ethiopia, he could read this and tell you that that says eat here. I thought, well, I need to just gather up all the neon art projects I'd made, make my yard, installing them here at my house, and so that I could see them whenever I felt like. If neon art had a sound, it would definitely be zzz. I have often thought to myself, how did I get stuck in this dead-end, obsolete job? Neon is high society and the lowest common denominator, virtually at the same time. But I own my means of production, and I really enjoy getting paid for things that I make.
So this is the mad scientist part right here.
Where you have to take all the air out with a vacuum pump and use high voltage to heat up the atoms and molecules inside. And then you put just a tiny bit of the gas in, and then your tube's done. I'm one of the few people who knows how to make neon be subtle. 1/3 of it is artistic when you're designing the sign, and then the second third is the glass blowing part. That's artistic in its own way, and that is the hardest part, getting them to bend and splicing them together. So I started doing neon in 1994, and I started my own shop in 1995. And then 1998 is when I became self-sufficient. I could make signs myself from scratch. In 2001, I made 20 neon cutthroat trout for 2 blocks between Arlington and Sierra Street to light underwater that were downtown in Reno in the Truckee River, swimming upstream to spawn. First they didn't work, and that's when I knew what it felt like to be Evel Knievel in the bottom of the Snake River. But then after a couple of days I got it all running just fine, and then it looked great. When COVID first started, I made the word home, as in stay home Nevada, and I put it up on the side of this dam up by McCarran Street. And then I love to do things in the wild, guerrilla art you could call it, where you just set it up, you don't ask permission, you ask forgiveness if they catch you.
My name is Kaylin McGowan, and I'm a neon bender. It can be challenging as a woman to walk into a male-dominated space and to say, hey, can you teach me this trade, when you don't see other women doing it, right? But I've also had men be incredibly open and wanting to teach me and want to do everything they can. Jeff's one of those people. He has done everything he can to try to facilitate me learning, and I know plenty of other men like that too.
Well, I would say if you want to learn to make neon art, be prepared for someone to make you cry, because it's super hard.
I also was not prepared for the level of commitment, because you really have to give up virtually everything else in order to pursue this. It takes daily practice. It took all my money, all my time. I wanted to keep learning, so I kept coming back.
So the challenges of making neon and selling it is the popularity fluctuates. Right now, LEDs from China is more popular and much cheaper and easier to replace than neon tubes are.
I always talk about it like, plastic's never gonna be glass. Cubic zirconium's never gonna be a diamond. So it's not ever gonna look like this. LED doesn't last as long. It looks like shit. It looks bad. The colors are not the same. The brightness is not the same. People are disappointed when they buy it a lot of the time. You have to replace it really quick. Whereas a neon sign, properly made, can last more than 100 years.
I would love to tell people, do not waste your money on LEDs. It's cruel.
I do believe that the industry is moving in a direction where it's going to be easier and more inclusive for people to pick up the craft. So I guess it's just an ending note. I don't want anyone to feel discouraged by the challenges of neon. It's so much fun. It's therapeutic. It's science oriented. You learn so much about yourself and life and patience, and I think it's really worth learning. So I hope that people continue to walk into shops and ask to learn and take classes and all that good stuff. I think it's very worth it.